welcome to the show. Welcome to Dante's Den. It is another day in the den with Chauncey Dunham, owner of A Dante Production. My name is LD Robinson, and I am your host this afternoon. And we are so excited to have as our guests today. We have Andrew Love and Vince Belton of the franchise of Andrew Love and the Franchise Players. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey,
Hello.
Hi,
hello.
Mr. C. How you
Thanks
doing?
for having
I am absolutely wonderful.
Good, good. We're starting a little late today. We had a little technical difficulty, but we're all here. And well, we were talking, while we were getting things straightened out, that technology is man-made and as such, subject to failure. Um, so
Yes, it
we're
is.
we're glad to be here. All of us are here. We
Thank
can
you for
hear
having
each other,
us.
so we're here.
Yes.
Well, I am so excited about your upcoming show at the Midtown Music Concert Series. This is the second year that a Dante production has participated, and this is your first year, I believe, of being with the show. Is that right, Mr. C?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, we're excited. We
Andrew's
think
been
you're gonna
trying to
like
get it
it.
forever.
Oh, really? A hot commodity, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a great thing. So we think everybody's going to be pretty excited about the show. So Andrew and Vince, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourselves. We're going to start with Andrew. Would you tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do in the band? We can't hear you. All right,
Your
I think
your
we've
audio
lost.
went out.
I think we've lost him again. All right, Vince. Well, is he frozen? I think he's frozen. All right,
Yes.
Vince. Well, will you tell us? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and we'll come back to Andrew when he comes back with us.
Sure. Well, I'm Vince Belvin, and I'm the musical director for Andrew Love and the Franchise Players. I've been playing music since age 9. I actually played the keys and the saxophone in the band, and been loving music. Got the music bug since 9 years old, and it's been wonderful. We've been together for 11 plus years, and it's just been a wonderful experience.
11 years in a band—that's pretty impressive. Um,
Yes.
and there's something about nine. Like everybody seems to like come into their music bugness around
At
nine.
9, right?
We
Yeah.
hear that a lot. Like, oh, I was about 9 years old when I discovered that I could play, or that I wanted to play, or there's something about nine. I don't know what it is. I don't know what
Something
it is.
magical that happens, before you hit the double digits.
Yes, yes. But perhaps it's a little bit of sort of the baby years are floating away, and some of the independence is kicking in, and you're just finding that, oh, I can do that. Um,
Yeah. Well, for me, I had older family members that was into music. And
mhm.
back in those days, the 70s, they would bring albums home with all the different great funk groups of that era. And, you know, you couldn't help but hear it.
Mhm.
So I guess it kind of got into my system. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I wanted to do.
Mhm. Make people happy, make people
Make people
dance,
happy.
right?
Yes, yes. I mean, it was very
Make people
exciting.
move because people are happy when they're with music. And I think that's one of the things, even like with chefs, they always say that one of the things they like about cooking is the joy that they bring to people when people taste their food. So I imagine it's that same joy as a musician
It is.
that you like is seeing
Oh, yeah.
people's head move, and they're screaming in the car because "Hey, that's my jam."
Yeah. So you know that touching them in a real nice way. You're seeing people happy, and then you hear all the testimonies and stuff it's just a wonderful feeling, straight through.
Hmm. Andrew, are you back with us? We can't hear him. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Let me see with his mic a little bit. See if that helps him out. Andrew?
This is part of the technology thing that we were
Yeah,
discussing earlier.
part of the technology thing there. All right.
Yeah.
Well, when he comes up, we will certainly talk with him as well.
Yes.
Um,
Sure thing.
so you said that you know at 9 you realized this was something that you wanted to do. What
Absolutely.
exactly was it that do you remember? I mean, apart from the albums and the music, is there a specific event that really just that stands out to you when the light bulb went on when you had the epiphany?
Absolutely. I could tell you, so my brother, my older brother, next to oldest, he was in the high school band and he came home, he played tenor saxophone, and he came home and he would practice. But the thing is he would lock me out of the room because back in them days, with big families, there was one room for all the boys. And but when it was time for him to practice, he would go in there, lock me out the room. But seeping underneath the door, there was this beautiful sound of that saxophone, the
Mhm.
heavy low notes and stuff like that. He would play songs like Chameleon by Herbie Hancock or Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder, and that sound just like it was amazing. So I think that's what really got me because it just did something to me. It just hearing it. So I wanted to play saxophone at that point.
Mhm.
But I think the really biggest influence after that, of course, was 1975, and I call it my Ground Zero album. It was the Earth, Wind and Fire Gratitude album.
Hmm.
That album right there, to this day, is the one that really stuck in my mind that got me into music because it was like it represented musical excellence, especially hearing the gong introducing them. I couldn't believe it. It was like the biggest thing in life to me back in those days, at age 9, you're like, whoa.
Mhm.
So it just like inspired me so much that I wanted to do everything that they were doing. It was just such a big influence to me. So I played the guitar back then. I played the bass and I played the piano as well as the saxophone. So like I still know about those other instruments, but as time went by, I got jobs just playing piano and sax mostly. So I became more proficient with those two instruments. But today I can still, you know, tell a person, hey, you got to do this on the guitar, you got to do that, or you got to play the bass a certain way because I still remember that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
still hip to the game, huh?
Still hip to the game. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I gotta pull it out and say, you gotta jiggly. Yeah, but I just love music ever since. I knew I had it then.
Uh huh. It's
Yeah.
amazing how many artists we chat with, and that we meet, and they say that Earth, Wind, and Fire, or there is something, some song or some album, and I don't mean just here in Dante's Den, just people
Right.
that I meet out and about, particularly musicians. They
Hmm.
there's something about the sound of Earth, Wind, and Fire that resonates with musicians,
Oh,
um,
I
and
know yeah, it's
it's really
excellence.
amazing.
Musical excellence. I mean, that's how I describe it. It was just like the top lunch, the vocals, all of those musicians on stage, like
Mhm.
13 of them, the Phoenix horns, I mean, and I've seen them live so many times, but it's something about that particular group that really inspired me. But there's been many other artists, of course,
Mhm.
Ramsey Lewis, Chick Corea, um, even today, Gerald Albright, even old school artists like Charlie Parker,
Mhm.
Thelonious Monk, Art Tatum, all of those guys, Charlie Park, I said, Dizzy Gillespie,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Miles Davis,
Mm-hmm.
all of those guys, So it's been so many, but I like all styles of music.
I think most musicians have an appreciation for all styles and genres of music. Andrew, are you with us? Can you hear us? Change your
Yeah.
mic settings.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Are you still plugged in?
Oh, I think he's saying he's okay. I guess.
Where are your headsets? I don't, yeah. You still have your headsets in? Now,
I'm
this
back
didn't
in.
happen on
Can you
stage.
hear
There
me?
you
There
go.
you go.
Now we
There
can
you
hear
go.
you.
But we can't
Can
hardly
you
Welcome.
hear
see you.
me?
We
Now we
can
can
hear
Yes.
see you. We can
you.
hear you.
Now we can
Yes.
see you.
What's happening?
Welcome to
Don't
the
touch
show.
anything.
Don't touch anything. Stay
Touch
still.
Okay.
anything.
Because yeah, I took my heads, I unplugged my headphones a while back.
Hmm.
Uh,
That was because we
Can
were
you
having
hear me
mic
now?
problems, but we can hear
Yes.
you. Can you hear us?
Okay, good. I hear
Good,
you.
good. All right. Well, we're going to grab our
Yes.
chance with you. We're going to seize the
Good,
moment.
good.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what
Oh
you
my
do
God.
in Andrew Love and the Franchise Players?
Oh, well, franchise, and I am the one of the original members. It's 11, 12 years ago. It was myself and another guitar player named Sam. I met him at a restaurant where we were performing called Pal Joey's.
Oh,
And that particular band, it broke up. So at that time, Sam and myself, we decided that we could go ahead and put our and get this thing rolling. So that we did, and so we launched it. We brought in some musicians, and soon after we got started, we met. And I mean, he because we brought Vince in. I used to go around on the keyboards. I have no knowledge of playing keyboards. I just playing some chords. But it's grown. We've been together now for like Vince said, 11 or 12 years now. We stick strictly with nothing but the real serious music. Vince is a student of the music. He keeps the music on point. I handle the vocals. I do the everyday operation for the band. I do all of the booking. I do all of the contract, all the negotiations from A to Z. So I make sure we keep dates on our calendar. And so far, so good.
oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. So, let me ask: are you full time musicians?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
What a
yes,
what
yes.
a
I've been
pleasure.
retired now. I've been retired now 6 years. Yeah, 6 years retired for me. I was a postal employee for 33 years.
Oh, well, you must have
So
started when you were 12.
when I was about a year away from no, actually, I actually started the postal service. I went to the Marine Corps right out of high school at 17.
Hmm.
And once I finished with the Marine Corps, it took me about a year and 4 months before I got that call from the Postal Service. And I started with them around 82, 83, and I retired 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been a great ride, and yeah, and we've been rolling with the music. We're getting bigger. We're getting better. Better. Things are happening for us. We're on live with you, so hey, things are really looking good for
Yeah,
us.
things are looking up.
Well, we well, I'm glad to
Yes,
be assisting
yes,
Mr. C in um, his passion for bringing good music and good
Yes.
artists to North Central Florida. I think that is
Yes.
particularly the coastal side of Mid Central Florida. So I think that is fantastic. It has been a learning experience. I love music. I've learned a lot about music, having um,
Hmm.
working with Chauncey, and I don't know. I was introduced to Chauncey to help him with his website, and that has grown into
Okay.
a friendship, and it has grown
Awesome.
into you know um, just my being able to hosting Dante's Den for one thing, but also just helping with
Yes.
the preparations for shows and things. And so that is from a tech side of things, and so that's been pretty exciting. But I've learned so much from all the
Yes.
artists who come through. Um,
Great.
you
Uh-huh.
know, who are on the roster, so to speak. And I just, I'm in love with music, and this has enhanced that for me.
Well, so are
Um,
Well,
we.
you're obviously good at what you do. You're obviously good at what you do. You have to credit Chauncey for being able to seek and find the right people to put him in the right position. So he chose you. I met Chauncey through another young lady by the name of Janice, and she introduced Chauncey to me, and the rest is history. So a couple years back, I had an opportunity of meeting Chauncey, and he laid out his vision for me, told me what he was planning, where he was from, his background in D.C., and I was excited to work with him. So we're so looking forward to the concert coming up here in a couple of weeks. We don't know what to do.
Well, I'll tell you, being at is a Midtown music concert series. My first year attending was last year, and I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. People get up, they're dancing. I mean, they're
Yes.
having instant slide parties, whatever you
Awesome.
Woo.
anything's
We're looking forward
possible
to it.
to happen because people they enjoy music. And I have to tell you that Adante brings really great music. I mean, we've
That's
had
good.
the late Chris Clark, and
Oh,
they
yes, I knew
and
him
him
Yes.
personally.
him and I mean, Chris is just fantastic, right? Chris, I literally think Chris could
Yes.
play
Yes.
like 24 hours straight and he wouldn't be tired, he wouldn't be bothered, and he would have a reason for every single song that he would select that would flow from his hands. I honestly believe he could do that.
Yes, yes.
And his just general knowledge about music was certainly so helpful to me. Not being a student of music like you gentlemen, I'm just a lover of music, right? And
Well,
so
that's good.
there's a difference.
You know good music. You know good music.
Yes, I like giving you there.
Awesome.
Bishop Jakes has a saying that has stuck with me for a number of years, and it says, "You're always a student of the person you love." And so I'm going to have to change that and become a student because I certainly love myself some music. If you hear it booming loud at the light, it's probably me.
I hear you.
But speaking of that, music touches us in many ways, right?
Yes, it does.
Um, it is the one thing that, and I ask all the artists this, it's the one thing that really kind of bypasses our minds and goes straight to the core of us. You don't
Yes,
really, it's not something you really have to think about. You don't really have to think about music, right?
exactly.
Slow music kind of slows you down, fast music speeds you up, right? And
Hmm.
so knowing that as an artist, that there's this unconscious behavior that is affecting your audience and your listeners. um, how does that affect what you play and what you sing, particularly as individuals, but more so as a band? Like, how does that affect your selections when if you know something about your audience, like, okay, we're going here and we need to do this, speak this way.
You want to take that, Drew? I don't know if Drew's still with us. Well, I could tell you, from a standpoint of band member, musical director, um, we like to put people, like take people on a journey. You know, we like to start out taking people up with the up tempo stuff, and then we kind of ease them down, and we give them a nice ballad to let
Mm-hmm.
them kind of cool off from the hype of things.
Mm-hmm.
And just when we put them in that mood down here, we say, okay, now let's take them back on the ride, you know?
Okay, okay, okay.
So it's kind of
I
like a
hear you.
sine wave,
I hear
you
you.
know? And we make it flow like that. And it's been working for us all of these years. Um, People, they just can't get enough. You know, it's been a wonderful experience, musical in general. I can tell you, you know, and I played with different types of bands. Before this band, I was the musical director for the Mighty Intruders. You know, I'll always love my mama. She's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite girl. This is back in New York. Um, I opened up for Dennis Edwards and the Temptations, Ray
Mm-hmm.
Goodman and Brown, and various other
Oh,
groups.
I'm back.
Um, and us as a band, we opened up for Cameo at the Tom Joyner Old School Block Party
Oh,
that was
really?
downtown Orlando, as well as Blackstreet and Teddy Riley. And you know, people they just love the journey that we take them on. You know, I mean, playing that up tempo music, dance music to get on the dance floor, and all ages.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
we um we really focus on real good music, like real instrumental music, as opposed to just the
Hmm.
studio stuff where you got
Mm-hmm.
all of these sounds going on. We
Yeah,
focus
yeah,
on
yeah.
where they got it from, which is the pioneers from back in the day. So we hit them with a lot of old school, but we
Yeah.
pride ourselves on doing it a certain way
Yes.
that makes
Staying
people
true. Staying
remember where
true
they
to the
were.
music.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
important
Staying
is it
true
to
to
you
that.
as a band to stay true to what influences you?
You want to take it, Drew?
Sister
Well, we're
Andrew.
we're old school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're really old school, you know, and it's nothing like that old school groove, you know, growing up in the '70s and the '80s and just getting filled with that good music at a young age. And so that's exactly what we project when we're on stage. You know, I during my singing career, I've always studied, you know, the Al Greens and old guys, the Wilson Pickett's. You know, a lot of you guys might not remember Wilson Pickett and guys like that, but it was just something about their vocals that I just always tried to mimic. Of course, singing is in my family. You also have an uncle that was in a professional gospel group years ago. They were pretty big as a child and seeing him sing and all wanting to be just like him
Mm-hmm.
when I did that.
Very, very interesting. So we were, you went out on us there a little bit, Andrew, and we were asking well, not like we were. I'd ask the question. Um, Music has this ability that bypasses our mind and goes straight to the core of us. How, as an artist, does that affect knowing that this unconscious behavior is happening with your audience? How does it affect what you sing and what you play, individually and as a band? I think we lost him again.
Yeah.
And now, can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's going out again, Andrew.
I wonder if it's. Are you on your Wi-Fi?
That's what I'm thinking too. He's having a bad signal.
Are you on your? If you're on your Wi-Fi, change from your Wi-Fi to your data on your phone. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to him when he pops back in
Yes.
again. So you are part of a band. Tell me. Yeah, I mean, you obviously have the ability because you play. You can play as you can play solo. What's the attraction of being in a band?
um, I think just the whole togetherness with people that do what you do, that know how to communicate through their instrument. You
Hmm.
know, what words could never say. Um, it's like you've got all of these instruments on stage, and each instrument is responsible for sharing a portion of the musical spectrum. And when everybody can come together and groove and
Hmm.
create that vibe and that pulse in the music, and you can actually feel it breathing, that's a wonderful thing. I think that's it's so great to have other people together. You know, it's cool playing by yourself and so forth and so on, but then to be able to be on stage and you grooving and you looking at the bass player or the drummer, oh man, I'm telling you, it's magical. And then what we doing on stage is transcended to the audience,
Hmm.
and then to see how they respond, oh, it's nothing like it.
I can imagine it must be something to say. You know what? We were on the same wavelength without our instruments talk to each other,
Right.
and we managed to be on the same wavelength. I have a friend of mine who is a bass player, very skilled, uh, passionate player, right?
Yes.
And we were talking a couple of weeks ago about playing because everyone knows I want to learn. You know, at least when you come to Dante's Den, I'm going to tell you I want to learn how to play an instrument. And I want
Uh-huh.
to, I want to learn how to play the piano, a keyboard. I am going to learn how to play an instrument. Right, the instrument I know how to play is a tambourine, but I want to play the piano. Right, so we were talking about this, and he was saying that you know our a musician's ability is really in their capacity to communicate what they cannot say or cannot express in words, to
Yeah,
be able to tell that story to their audience through
absolutely.
what they play,
Absolutely.
and still be able to get their message across. And so it's kind of interesting that you think about when you're at a concert, or even if you're at, say, a funeral, and um, there is a tone that is always set, and the ability to change that tone in that atmosphere. Um, to me, I am always in awe of musicians' ability to change the tone of a whole room
Yes,
through some chords.
absolutely. And that's what the sound of music does.
Yes.
Tones.
Mhm.
Tones are spiritual. And when you put the right tones together, it will move you.
Mhm.
It moves you. Music moves you. And it's
I
amazing,
hear
you know.
something. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
Oh
you.
yeah.
We can hear you. Yes.
It's like your bandwidth is slow or something there.
Yes.
It's going in and out, Andrew.
Mhm. Are you on Wi-Fi, Andrew?
Now
He
your
just
mic is
muted himself.
Your mic is muted now. There you
There
go.
you are.
It's
I
muted
unmuted.
again.
I unmuted if he muted himself back.
Oh,
Okay. Are you with us?
He's muted again.
Okay. Can you hear us? He's gone. All right. So you told us before that you played several instruments.
yes.
How many instruments in total do you play?
Uh, I'm gonna say four. That's the piano,
Hmm.
saxophone, and of course I play different saxophones, but it's the same fingering, so I just say saxophone, guitar, and the bass. But I'm
Okay.
more proficient in the piano and sax because that's the instrument that I got the jobs with, most jobs, and that became my position in every band.
Oh, okay. So which saxophones you play? You play what?
Started out playing the alto saxophone.
The alto. Okay.
Yeah, and actually now I play this cool thing. It's a saxophone, but it's like the shape of a soprano more so, and we call it the EWI, which stands for electronic wind instrument. It has the same fingering as a saxophone.
Hmm.
It has a mouthpiece with the reed and everything like that. And I play that with the group as opposed to carrying around different saxes and stuff because that's a lot of brass, carrying around. And so when I discovered this about 30 something years ago, um, I said, wow. So I could play tenor sound, I could play alto, I could play a soprano, and various other sounds with this one unit. I said, wow, I'm going to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
That's
just carry
impressive.
that
Will
one
you
thing
have that
around.
with you at the concert next week?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Absolutely. I will have it
I
on
look
stage.
forward to hearing that.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. It just it was the solution then to carry all these different saxophones around and stuff like that. And nothing will replace the real thing, but we incorporate it very well in what we do.
Hmm. So, Mr.
Yeah.
C, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Um, Getting a band, finding a band, I imagine is an undertaking, right? It's not the same as looking for an individual. What do you look for when you're looking for a new band?
Cohesiveness and their ability to communicate. I Their musical ability is secondary to me. If
Hmm.
we can get along, that's primary.
Hmm.
And then once I feel that we get along and we can have a conversation that makes sense, then I look at their musical ability. There's nothing like having somebody that you can't get along with. That doesn't work.
Mm.
No matter how skilled they are, right?
I don't care how skilled they are, it
I
just
feel
doesn't
you.
work.
They're just
And
extra difficult, extra.
and for Vince's info, I'm somewhat new to Florida. This is March will be my 5th year in Florida. It has been an interesting ride. That's the best I can say. Being born and raised in Philadelphia and knowing some of the people you talked about has made my life very interesting. My best friend's name was Harold, and Teddy pushed him out. So some things
Wow.
happened in my life that have been very interesting. And franchise players, I was introduced to franchise by Janice Lyons, and I followed you guys around for a little while to make sure you were that you fit what I was looking for. And with it, Cafe Murano, I call Andrew up and say, I'll see you tonight. And I just sit and watch. I
Also, you
watched.
didn't tell me that that is when I asked you about Cafe Barado the other week. You didn't say you're like, oh, I've been there. You didn't say, oh, I've been there because
Five times.
I was scouting. I was going to concerts. He's just like, oh, I've been there. I'm thinking, dude, you from way up there. He's like, oh, I've been there several times. Oh, you've been there
Yeah,
several times. Listen to music. They ain't saying a word. Just pass
I just
pass
wanted
right
to
by
make
my exit,
sure.
didn't
I just wanted to make sure what I heard was what I
you?
heard,
Was real,
and I
right?
watched
Scoping
the
out the place.
audience. Huh?
You were
Just
scoping
went
out the
blind.
place, making sure it was real.
Not only the place, I scoping you all out.
Okay.
Well, I think the interesting thing is that in the past, what year and a half, past year,
Hmm.
we've added two versions of a female, all female bands.
Wow.
We've added what two versions of male bands, and so that kind of, along with the solo acts that we have within a Dante production, I think is very um, that band repertoire, that ability to have people on stage who can talk to each other without talking to each other.
Yes. Yes.
Um, that's that um, that
They could move an
level
audience.
of, yes, it moves the audience,
Yes.
and we have
Yeah,
seen that. I mean, we had Dante's Divas, right? We on at a concert at the Ormond Beach Performing Arts Center, and something happened with the drum, and literally the drummer, she beat the drum while she until someone, a stage help could come. She literally beat the drum while she
she
was
followed
fixing
the
the
drum
drum.
around the stage.
Yes, she
Awesome.
walked up and fixed the drum while she
Was
I was like,
playing.
I don't understand why
Yeah,
how she's able to do that while she was playing.
That's great musicianship.
While she was playing.
And that's a sign of an entertainer, a real entertainer. This is what we do, and I'm not going to let this right here interfere. We're going to get around this. We're going to keep it going.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're
That's
going to
good.
be so excited to have you all in Daytona on the
We're
17th.
excited.
I think they are just going to absolutely. You guys better make sure you got your calendars working and everything. I think they're going to really enjoy
We're
um,
very excited.
you all at the show.
We appreciate this golden opportunity, and we've been talking about it. Everybody I know is so excited, that we're going to be there. So we're looking so forward to it. This is awesome.
Yes,
Can't wait.
we're excited. We're
and in
excited. We
Yeah.
want to.
2023, we're going to Ormond Beach Performing Arts Center.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
wow. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, look at he dropping nuggets this afternoon.
That is awesome.
That is fantastic.
I
Fantastic.
think I played
Fantastic.
there uh, some years back with the Flamingos, if I'm not
oh, okay.
mistaken. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's closed now. They're totally remodeling.
Okay.
If you go online and plug in Ormond Beach, you'll see what it's going to look like. And once it reopens, it's going to be very interesting.
Wow. That is awesome. Can't wait to see what it's going to be like. That is serious there. Wow.
It's going to be interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty I think the musical journey that A Dante Production is on is um one that I think that people will
Tiring.
remember. That too.
Yeah,
But I think
tiring.
it's something that people will certainly remember because of the caliber of artists like yourselves who are um, completely committed to your craft. I think it is the one thing that in any profession that helps a person to stand out is their commitment to their craft. It doesn't mean they are perfect at it, but their level of commitment to learning their craft. I don't care where you are a speaker, if you're a motivational speaker, right? Your ability, or a preacher, or whatever, your ability to understand one, what you do, two, your audience, who are the recipients. That audience is the recipient of what you do, and
Yes.
three, how to connect with them between the what I do and you being the recipient.
Talk it, talk it. You are preaching it.
Is no matter
I love
what
it.
it is, that
Yeah,
adds up every single time. And when those two come together and there's that appreciation for that, it really makes a difference. It's like being married, right? And you have a, there's you've got a spouse, but that spouse is, you don't really appreciate that spouse, right? You miss something in what is supposed to be symbiotic and mutually beneficial at the end of the day. So, a concert is supposed to be symbiotic. It's supposed to be mutually beneficial at the end of the day. The musicians get a chance to share their craft, hopefully for pay, but the
yes,
audience, in return for that ticket purchase, um, they get to have an experience that that moment in time cannot be duplicated.
absolutely. And then outside of the pay thing, it's still a reward.
Yes,
We get it and they get it.
yes.
And it's
There ought to
beautiful.
be sheer joy about
Yes,
being a musician.
yes. And
Yes,
that's the ultimate thing that we get.
yes. Well, we want to remind everybody that you can see Andrew Love and the Franchise Players on the 17th, I believe.
The 17th,
The
Saturday.
17th,
17th,
Saturday the
yes.
17th, at Midtown Music Concert Series in Daytona Beach, Florida. And it's a free concert sponsored by the city of Daytona Beach as part of their ongoing summer concert series. And you can find out more information online. You can certainly go to A Dante Production, and the information is there. Or you can go to the city of Daytona Beach, and the information is there. And I believe you're going to be in Cypress Park, I believe. Is that correct? Miss?
Cypress
Cypress
Park is correct.
Park, yeah.
Okay. You can find
Yes.
Andrew Love and the Franchise Players at Cypress Park on the 17th of September. Concert is free. Bring your dancing shoes. I think you're going to need them. You're
We
going.
look forward to making everybody groove.
Yes, we're excited. And so we want to say thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And Andrew,
Thank you
we're
for
going to
having me.
have you back, and
Yes.
um, with
We get that signal fixed.
get your technology fixed there with us, and have you back on. And hopefully we'll be able to get your whole band on, and
That would be really
really have
nice.
a talk with have a good chat with you all. I've certainly enjoyed myself. I learn something every time I'm in Dante's Den. And my musical head's gonna be so big, y'all won't be able to tell me anything when I finally learn how to play the piano.
I would love to hear you when you get it. Definitely
Me
let
too.
us know. Yes. Listen, I'm
I'm
rooting
going,
for you.
I'm going
I'm
on
rooting
I'm
for
going
you.
on the Adante production roster when I get this piano done. I'm
Ooh,
like, no, I want to be. I'm like, I want to show. I'm
it's the
going to
greatest
show them how
instrument.
I can play.
Do it. Do it. All
Yes,
right.
I'm really excited. I must say that my friend was a little surprised when we were in the music store, and I shared this last week when we interviewed Benny Yarbrough. By the way, who will be at Cinematique Theater tomorrow at 2 p.m. For Sunday Jazz, another Adante production collaboration.
Oh, I know
With
Benny. He plays sax, right?
Yes, he plays
That is
sax.
correct.
I played I played with Benny a few times. We all kind of connected. I used to be a musical director at the House of Blues for the Gospel Brunch.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, for about 12 years. I played on the Apostle Jail Cash and Praise. and then went on to play with about 90% of the bands there.
Okay. Well, this
And
is
Benny played
exciting.
with us.
Oh, well, we
Yeah.
had Benny on last week. Benny will be at Cinematique tomorrow
Okay.
at 2 p.m. for their Sunday Jazz, which is a new series they've started. And so Adante is part of that. We've had, I think, two or three acts to performers to be there for Sunday
Awesome.
Jazz. So we're excited about that. And
That's wonderful.
I told him last week that my friend was a little surprised. I whipped out, we were in the music store, and I whipped out my Simply Piano app to show him how I was learning to play the piano.
That's a good app too.
Yes, and so he didn't know about it. So he claims he's the bassist. He claims he doesn't play the piano, but while I was there, he hopped on another keyboard and started playing. I said, "Oh, so you don't play, huh?"
Yeah, modest.
Trying to get him to learn how to teach me, and he tells me it's not the same with me playing, and that I play well enough that I can teach you to play. I say, but you were thumping my fingers, so you must know something.
Well, no zone, right?
Yes, he kept thumping my fingers like, nope, 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 move that finger. I'm like, you better
Uh-huh.
stop.
It's sometimes musicians get a little modest.
Yes, he's like, well, I don't really know how. I don't play like that. I was like, you play well enough to tell me, but I'm not doing. So that's pretty good. Well,
That's
we
funny.
will see. We will see you all next week
Oh,
at
yes.
for the Midtown Music Concert Series at Cypress
Looking
Park
forward
in
to it.
Daytona Beach. We'll see you next Saturday afternoon for a wonderful time with Andrew Love and the Franchise Players. Thank you,
Awesome.
Mr. C, and thank you, Vince and Andrew.
Thank you, LD. Thank you,
We
Mr.
look forward
C.
to having you
Oh,
all
you're
back with
welcome. You're
Dante's
welcome.
And we look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right.
You
Have a
will.
wonderful afternoon. You will.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye bye.
Enjoy. Bye bye.
Bye bye.